All right, cool.
Hello, I'm Jack Shenker, and along with my colleague Jason Larkin, who is standing very shyly behind the camera, I've just got back from South Africa. Jason and I went out to South Africa with the support of the Pulitzer Centre on Crisis Reporting because we wanted to explore the country 20 years on from apartheid, and specifically a community in a place called Marikana. Marikana lies about 60 miles northwest of Johannesburg, and it's where 95% of the world's global platinum reserves lie. You may not think that you have much to do with platinum on a day-to-day basis, but we all carry platinum around in our pockets and our mobile phones. It's used in a huge range of electronics and industrial chemical reactions. The world basically relies unconditionally on platinum, and the vast majority of it is mined right there in Marikana. And some of the world's biggest and richest mining companies have huge operations there. 2 years ago, Marikana hit the headlines because during a strike by workers at mining companies, 37 workers were massacred by the police. That set in trail a whole series of disputes and strikes which have roiled on right up to this year, including this year. And whilst Jason and I were out there, another strike was underway, so we got to see some of these fault lines firsthand. Big business and big capital versus workers who feel that they have been left behind in the progress of the much mythologized Rainbow Nation since apartheid came to an end. We met some incredible characters. We met people from incredibly deprived informal settlements who are really scrabbling around the edges of the informal economy in an attempt to survive. And although those people were incredibly interesting on their own and in their own right, they also provided a window onto the wider fault lines which are shaping contemporary South Africa. Fault lines which some analysts believe could dramatically disrupt the country politically and economically and socially in the years to come. It was a very, very important time to be out there. There was a general election this year in which the ANC faced serious opposition, not just from the right, but from the left as well, really for the first time since Nelson Mandela emerged from prison all of those years ago. And it also comes at a moment when the country is suffering from a huge range of protests and demonstrations, so-called service delivery revolts, which have touched villages and farms and townships and cities right across the country, and have made South Africa the protest capital of the world, have really brought to light just how exclusionary the specific model of economic development South Africa has pursued in the last 20 years has turned out to be. So Jason and I wanted to try and get to grips with some of those fault lines, find out from people firsthand what they thought about them, the extent to which they saw the ANC, once the great heroes of the anti-apartheid movement, the extent to which they saw them now as part of the problem, part of this cosy establishment consensus with big business, with the official trade unions, and how they were trying to subvert that situation. And in the process, we encountered some incredibly dramatic moments, days when the companies and the police tried to break the strikes, service delivery protests on the ground with residents burning tyres in the streets, disrupting traffic, police fighting back. It really was a really important insight into just how many difficulties South Africa is facing at the moment in terms of moving on from the legacy of apartheid and trying to build a society in which everybody, and not just an elite few, are catered for. So we've put together a selection of stories and images and some multimedia elements which we hope bring some of those questions to the surface, and yeah, we hope you enjoy them and take away some of these issues in the future and keep exploring what contemporary South Africa really looks like.